Welcome back, campers.
That was Kaitlyn.
And that was Genevieve.
And you have arrived at Camping is Cancelled. More importantly, Kaitlyn and I managed to arrive. We didn't know if it was going to happen or not this week, guys.
Do we both roll up kind of crying? I definitely rolled up crying, and I was so glad you were late.
Yes.
Because my tears dried up.
And I called you on the way over to get out the story I knew I was going to have to tell you regardless. Oh my goodness. But we made it.
We did.
We did it for you guys. And for the plot.
For the plot.
For the plot of Search and Rescue Stories on Reddit. Dun dun dun. This is our filler episode in between parts 1 and part 2 of the mainline murders. Thanks to Genevieve, myself.
Brought to you by, what,
The
flu
flu?
A?
It had to
flu
be
A,
the
B.
flu. Yeah. I don't know what the different letters are, but I have never been so sick. My God, I would not wish that on anyone. You guys, if you get the flu, just plan to not do anything for like 3 straight days, because that's pretty much what I was at. At one point, I was like hallucinating episodes of Gilmore Girls, and I was not watching it at the same time.
That was your brain's way of coping with the trauma.
Trying
It was
to
protecting you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, but have you ever been that sick where even if you're lying down and there's no other like things to bother you, but your body is just like pulsing with pain from the fever, from, I don't know,
With the
like
body
just
aches,
aching.
and then you're sweating, but you're freezing.
Yes.
That, I hate that.
Yes, like shivering, but drenched in sweat. And I was like, is this what it feels like to... I just kept thinking about one of the very first cases we did, Jennifer Levin, where what's-his-face, was it Robert, was detoxing from cocaine, and he was saying that he had the flu, but his girlfriend's mom was like, nah, bitch, he's detoxing.
Oh, gosh.
Robert Chambers,
Yes,
yeah.
okay.
Yes,
Yes,
and
yes.
he was just sweated like through her mattress and was shivering and had a fever. And I was
Get the
like,
fuck out of my bed.
and she was like, oh, he just has the flu and he's recovering. She was like, no, baby, he's detoxing
But you
from
know what?
drugs.
We're starting this off talking about our struggles and our surviving. But Jen, we haven't done what's blown up your skirt in a hot minute, so let's start with that. And I'll do it for you real quick. Jen had the flu, but guess what, guys? She had the flu in her cottage.
I did. I had the flu in my cottage, so I was convalescing in peace, in as much peace as you can be. But that was a huge blowing up my skirt. And I will say that all the signs, literally the star signs, the astrological signs, say that this particular weekend and today, that for the Aries, that it's this fundamental shifting and like a rollover and a reset from the last 3 years. And I was like, no way. So Kaitlyn, I really believe...
That is 2 on the nose.
It was 2 on the nose. It was creepy. And I really believe that I was sick, but I think too that maybe that was
your
my body like purging. Not that the last 3 years has been not good.
But in a sense, you did have a lot of stress and whatnot.
Oh, there was huge things that happened. There's been a huge life change now. And so maybe it was...
I got goosebumps.
Maybe it was my body just kind of purging from that experience and rolling over into a new one. Plus, you know, influenza
Maybe we got to give a quick cliff note. Jen's been living with our in-laws for 3 years while her house gets built. It's finally built and livable.
Yes.
So
yes, and they are wonderful, lovely. Like, could not have done any of it without them.
But if you've ever been sick, you could be at like your grandparents' house. You could be at like your significant other's house. Like being sick anywhere but like in your own bed, in your own like safe space.
Hell.
So I'm so glad you were able to detox and recover in your own little safe haven.
Thank you. And let me just say, for those of you who have had children, and if you haven't, something to look forward to. But when you have a terrible cough, that does not go well with having had 3 children and your bladder. Let me just say that right now. So, and being very, very sick at the same time.
Also, just having kids when you're sick.
Oh, there was plenty of mommy, just like right in my ear. And my husband was great about helping and making sure I was like safe and, not in mom mode. But every now and then they managed to slip through the cracks and come barreling in for something or other.
Cockroaches.
Yes. Little whack-a-moles. You just can't.
You love them. But like.
You whack one and another pops up.
I swear to God.
I'm just kidding.
Gosh.
I wasn't hitting my kids.
But yes, okay. So roundabout, we don't have part 2 of the mainline murders ready yet.
No, but next week.
Yes. Ooh, which guys, I know Jen's not putting in every little detail into part 2, and for good reasons, because I think we'd have to be flagged on so many levels just for one letter that is in that case.
Yeah.
But be prepared.
Be prepared for the absolute crapshoot. That being said, in the meantime, we wanted to make sure we give you guys something to pass the time with us for the week. So Kaitlyn has done all of the deep diving into Reddit. Thank you very much. To bring us, is it mostly search and rescue?
It's a mix of search and rescue and a mix of like forest rangers.
Perfect.
So, kind of the same. I don't want to say kind of the same. And then also what was like Reddit. What's Reddit if not, hey, forest rangers, what are your unexplainable and downright creepy stories? Not a forest ranger. Not a forest ranger. Not a forest ranger. But here's my story. Not a forest ranger, but here's my story.
So somebody who read the prompt, but then it jogged their memory.
Yes.
Hey, if it's a good one, we don't really care.
There are good ones.
It's all on the same thread. So without further ado, let's dive into those.
And remind you guys why we don't go camping.
Literally why the title of this podcast is Camping is Canceled. Lights out.
Oh man, the mountains call my number one. I'm just a life-size lottery ticket in the hand of the one.
Okay, so this post is from, like I said, Forest Rangers. What are your unexplainable and downright creepy stories?
Ooh.
And with these, there's going to be a mix of, I guess, paranormal, downright just like humans are the creepy things in real life, and then just unexplainable things.
Cool.
So a little mix. But this one comes from a random boorish buffoon. Sorry if I butchered that.
Oh, maybe is it spelled Boorish?
Boorish?
Boorish.
Ah.
Random boorish buffoon. A boorish person is exactly what it sounds like. Somebody who's just describing themselves as boorish. Yeah.
Okay. They start off by saying, like most, not a ranger, but back in the early 90s, my brother and I were staying with my cousin and her husband, who I'll call Scott, who was a DNR officer. This was opening day of deer bow season in northern Michigan. While I was at least a mile away from any road or trail, I stumbled upon an area that looked like people had been camping recently. They'd even built this weird outdoor, in quotes, kitchen. Being a naive 16 to 17-year-old, the, air quotes, kitchen confused me, but I figured they had left because hunting season had started, so I just continued on my way. That night, I was telling everyone about it when Scott gets serious and asks me about what it looked like and where it was. After I told him, he warned me not to go back there and to be glad no one was there. Apparently, some locals had multiple locations like that where they could cook meth, so that they would not blow up their houses and to make it harder to get caught. I guess Scott reported it to the cops and they raided it a couple days later. I must have missed it, but the guys had set up multiple trail cams, which were damn expensive at the time, all around the area. Based on the pics on them, I missed the guys by a few hours. They were heavily armed while I only had a bow and a knife. On the surface, it seems like a well thought out plan from some smart people, but they weren't very smart at all. Scott filled us in later on some details. Apparently, they didn't clear the images off the cameras before leaving, and the images, though too low of resolution to recognize their faces, showed them not only cooking the meth, but also carrying illegal guns and riding off on customized four-wheelers known to everyone in the area. They ended up getting 20 years in prison.
Oh my God.
That's, honestly, I would rather run across like a Bigfoot than meth people.
Oh, then people who not only are making it, but definitely on it and have
don't want to
deadly
get
weapons
caught.
and customized four-wheelers. I mean, a customized four-wheeler sounds kind of cool, but when I hear that with the meth head, then I just imagine it's got like
It's bedazzled.
but then it has pitchforks or
gosh.
a t-shirt cannon attached to the top that's shooting out frozen turkeys.
Giving wrong turn.
Insane.
But I didn't know where that one was going at first with kitchen. My mind, I don't know why, my mind immediately went to the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse at Disney. And I was like, oh, there was just like a random like treehouse for the kitchen. Like, I don't know why I went whimsical with it.
I was thinking that maybe it was going to be a wild person or somebody that didn't look quite human but was surviving out in the woods. But, you know, if you do meth long enough, you
know what? That's basically what you described.
Yeah, you kind of start to become like that. Oh, boy. Well, I have one here. Let's see. This is one from the link that you sent me from the question that said, rangers, forest workers, hunters, and other woods people have read it. What is your scary experience in the woods that you still can't explain? And this was posted 6 years ago by So Many Questions 24/747. And they said, a few years back when I was around the age of 14 and my brother was 9, my dad, my little brother, and I all went out deer hunting in the afternoon right before sundown. While we were walking through the woods, before we even got started, my little brother tugged on my arm and asked me if I saw, air quotes, that. I said that it was probably his imagination, and he let go of my arm. A few minutes later, I couldn't hear him walking behind us anymore, and turned around to find him gone. I quickly told my dad, and we looked for him for at least half an hour when he walked over out of nowhere towards the both of us. Oh, thank God. Oh my God. I was like, Kaitlyn. Oh no. No. Nope. Little brother walked over out of nowhere towards the both of us. He was covered in mud, like he'd fallen somewhere. I worriedly asked where he'd gone, and he just stared at me, telling me that he couldn't remember and thought that he had never left. He acted normally afterwards, just as nothing had happened. I don't know if this is really scary to anyone else, but it shook my entire family, including myself, quite a bit. Yeah. So, directly below this story, the same poster has an edit. He says, to answer a few of your questions, several of you have been asking whether or not he could tell or show me where he had been, and the answer is no. As I said, although I hadn't specified, so that might have been on me, he told me that he couldn't remember a thing. Not what happened, not why he was covered in mud, not why he had walked away in the first place, nor that he had walked away at all. The only thing that he said he could recall was walking a few steps away from us after seeing a doe from behind him, and that's it. He told me that he genuinely hadn't remembered walking away from us and acted like no time had passed. Also, one of you had asked how muddy it was. I distinctly remember that we had several flood warnings and heavy rains before then, but it wasn't like knee-high deep mud. It had been in the middle of fall, and I can remember myself being irritated at the mud and leaves sticking to my boots. He wasn't drenched in mud after we found him, but his knees and the palms of his hands were coated in it, along with having a few splotches here and there on his clothes. I had one other question on whether or not I asked him what he saw in the first place. He had initially told me after the entire event that he had saw a glimpse of a tall person standing next to a tree, which I, to be completely honest, doubt. As a kid, I also had one hell of an imagination and was very paranoid, which I believe was passed down from my mother to the two of us. Lastly, someone had asked how I had found him. I'm not sure if that's the right way to word it. Anyways, all three of us had been walking north, and later on, when I did find him, he had trotted out of the woods, avoiding trees from the west. Before he had gotten to me, he hadn't really spoke until I ran up to him and hugged him, asking if he was okay. I hope this answers most of the questions you all had. Oh.
And I know I can hear Sam right now, being like, seizure.
Yeah,
like
that's what
medical.
I see first, like the very first question underneath it.
Oh.
Is it possible
I'm
he had
sure.
some kind of seizure?
But to me, I feel like with the update, he might have like given more medical stuff, but that does make sense. Like maybe he had a seizure, fell, got disoriented. That's why he doesn't remember.
And didn't remember anything of it.
I think what like creeps me out and gives me like the edge to believe in more is him tugging on his brother and being like, did you see that?
Yeah.
And then something happens.
Exactly. And the fact that he says he saw a doe, then he turned away, which would be likely for them to see because they were out hunting.
Yeah.
But when I did hear that, it would also track to me that he had some kind of abrupt head trauma that happened. Like, what if a deer came running through and butted him in the head, or even just clipped him? I mean, as you get knocked out, and that happens many a time where people get abruptly knocked out, then they come to and they have no memory of getting knocked out. But even then, though, you would think that he would have some sort of, a big old knot on his head or a cut, something.
I mean, and I was that age too. I was a very paranoid kid. I'm a paranoid adult. Again, in the basement watching horrific sci-fi movies like The Wrong Turn, Hills Have Eyes, shit like that. Yeah. And I remember going four-wheeling down where we used to go four-wheeling and like feeling like eerie and paranoid in the woods and whatnot. But I never saw, like, my imagination didn't make me see things. I just was scared of it. So I think that's, and I know not everybody's the same, but I think that's too easy of a write-off to be like, oh, he just imagined a tall person standing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just so
Upper Michigan. No, thank you.
And when you're already
also
an anxious, hypervigilant kid, you're more aware of your surroundings, and it doesn't make sense that he would just not remember anything.
He doesn't remember anything, but he tugged on you, said, did you see that? He remembers the doe, and then he remembers seeing a tall person. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, very well could just be a medical episode.
I really hope it was, and not something more sinister. And I'm so sorry, but here's then, because of the things that we've covered on this podcast and the things that I've listened to in true crime, where my mind goes to is that what if he was grabbed, assaulted, and he went into a disassociative state as a way to protect himself?
I mean, if Bigfoot's on the table, I don't see why that's not,
I mean, crazier things have happened, and we know that that is something that literally can happen, that your brain just shuts down to protect itself. And we have no idea of anything of this kid's background or his mental health history, or what was there underlying. We just don't know.
Maybe it's just because it's woods and it's a kid and kind of turning your back for a few seconds, but it reminds me of the Fuzzy Man.
It does.
In the last bizarre SARS
It absolutely
episode
does.
we did.
Where the little boy disappeared.
And like, I actually, when looking, I found that story again, and there were more comments of like children like having experiences with like fuzzy people in the woods. And I'm like,
really? Maybe we need to do a whole episode on the fuzzy people.
Never vacationing near the forest with my children. Or they're going to be on leashes. Very tight leashes.
Literally, though. I am seeing, I'm not going to read the full story because it's not super along the lines of like the mysterious stuff that we're talking about, but someone does comment here saying that their younger sister had a very scary incident happen where they were hiking in a snowy area. Ooh. And she already had low blood pressure, and something ended up happening where she was alone for a stretch of the hike and she passed out and a bunch of snow fell on her and she ended up being rescued and incredibly survived, but she was overnight in the dark unconscious. And she thought that only a couple of hours had passed, but it actually had been for an entire night, and she was saved by another hiker.
Let me tell you, though. And this is not victim blaming, but this one, it gives details that this lady was from Canada, I think. She was visiting a different like place, was not an experienced hiker, was not wearing the appropriate things, and went alone.
Yep. Don't ever do that.
And then, like, to have been buried overnight, like, you have a medical episode, and you don't return, nobody's looking for you. Guys.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but here's when I will victim, and they're not even a victim. Well, you're a victim of your own stupidity. Like, no one did anything to you. No one attacked you. It's not like you were solo hiking and some insane person attacked you with a knife. You went out in a crazy dangerous area with no preparation and no gear.
Also, that story, though, the snow story, the sister and friend who found that girl were inexperienced hikers, and her friend was wearing chaka sandals.
Oh my gosh. No wonder.
And like they wanted to turn around because they weren't like prepared for the hike, and they found that lady. And it's just like, what?
I really just think sometimes people think nothing bad is going to happen.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah, it's
like,
just not going to be me.
Walking a little bit.
Like, what really could happen? Well, exactly
but
this.
I mean, life isn't a Disney movie, unfortunately. So.
No. And this person got very, very lucky. Good Lord.
I could not imagine. You're going to like this next one, Jen.
Okay.
I think you're going to find like the silver lining in it. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
So this is a throwaway account.
Okay.
And it starts with, I have so many of these, but I'll share my favorite. I have been a ranger in the USFS for almost 15 years, but this takes place about 3 years after I joined. We were getting calls about a lone wolf with a collar on hanging around campsites. Weird. Since wolves aren't known to be in the area, but when you work in the field long enough, you start to realize anything is possible. No calls had mentioned violent behavior from the animal, thank God. I departed from the station around noon to check out the places that had been sighted. Wandered around for about 3 hours, no further calls during that time, until I took a break for water. I sat down, had a snack, drank some water, and was getting ready to go again when the thing was about 20 feet out, trotting near the tree line. It seemed friendly and had a collar, so I whistled to it and he came over to me. Getting a closer look, I could see it wasn't a wolf. It was huge, but it was dark and didn't have the right body structure, though I could see why it'd be confusing from a distance. I radioed in and reported that I had the dog with me, but as soon as I said I'd bring it in, the dog fucking took off.
No.
Like he was playing, to see how far he could get me to chase him. Typical dog behavior. I went after it, and I swear it was a game of chase for at least 5 minutes as we steadily ran through the forest. Please don't go running through the woods unless you know the area like the back of your hand. Amen.
Oh, God.
The dog finally slowed down near a rock bed / creek area and started pacing around a spot.
Oh.
I drew closer and didn't see anything off at first. Then I noticed it. The overgrowth had almost disguised what appeared to be bones. I called it in immediately, and another team was sent to recover the remains. When I went to retrieve the dog, he was just gone. But honestly, it wasn't a priority at that point. He was friendly enough, and I figured we'd catch up with him later. The bones were identified as a teenage male's, died by a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. He'd been reported missing in the area long before I became a ranger, and there'd been pretty much no hope of finding him. I spoke to his mom on the phone. She called to thank me personally, and she asked how I had found her son. I mentioned the black dog. Then I thought I said something wrong since there was a pause on her side of the line. After I gave a couple details about the dog, she quietly explained that her son, who struggled with making connections, had sunken into a deep depression after the death of his best friend, the very dog that led me to him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I got goosebumps again. I think I spent the rest of the day stunned. I continued to be in disbelief in a way, but I know what happened. And then, yeah, it was a throwaway account because they say their main would have given away the details and whatnot, but...
Wow.
And then there's a comment right under it, and it's by deleted, so no name, but I heard a slightly similar story from one of the villages in the extreme far north in Canada's Arctic. A French priest came to the village to work at the church. He spoke English, but he didn't speak the local language, wasn't particularly familiar with the area, the local culture, just a total foreigner in a foreign place. Shortly after he got there, he kept seeing visions of a certain place. I'm not sure if I believe it, but when I heard the story, he was speaking to the local elders in their language, a language he didn't know, about his dreams and describing the place he saw. They gave him a general direction, and he hiked for hours straight to this remote cliff, climbed down it right to the frozen body of a former priest that had gone missing many years before.
What?
I'm assuming it happened relatively recently because I even saw a picture of the frozen mummified guy.
Wow. That dog story, man. That's heart-wrenchingly beautiful and sad.
But like, how do you explain that?
You really
like
can't.
But that puppy came back and like helped his owner
be found.
Yeah, and like give him his final like a proper final resting place and closure for his loved ones.
Oh my God. And it makes you wonder too if like what if that dog, that spirit or whatever have you had always been there, but that person had just been the first one who was able to see it, you know, like those things we talk about how some people are just
more susceptible,
open, or able to see things, or like maybe that little boy in the woods saw something that other people couldn't see. Maybe he went to Narnia for 50 years and lived a full life and came back.
Prince Caspian.
I couldn't remember anything
what's the brother's name?
Peter?
Fuck yeah. Yes, please.
Yes, they casted Peter very, very well. They really
did.
My 12-year-old self was very pleased with that casting.
I was very smitten. That was probably one of the first like blonde head guys that I was like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that one.
Wow.
Like you can't like explain that one away.
Yeah. And also what a beautiful piece of closure for his mom.
Oh yeah.
To hear that was the way that he was found. I mean, it's horrible that it happened to begin with, but there comes a point where you just want answers.
I mean, as a mom though, knowing that what kind of sent your son into a deep depression, the loss of his best friend.
Yeah.
And then it might not be explainable, but like a lady's telling you like dog led me to your son.
And then to be like, his best friend never left him. No.
Oh my God, why do dogs only live?
I love my
like
dogs.
2 seconds.
I love my dog so much. He's a crackhead, but I love him so much.
But he's your crackhead.
He almost killed a FedEx worker because he thought he was going to abduct my 4-year-old, but 5-year-old, I don't even know how old he is.
But he didn't, okay?
But he
so
didn't.
He's safe.
But he didn't. And that FedEx worker probably has our address on a list somewhere.
Yeah, you're flagged.
We're for sure
Not
flagged.
safe. Gosh. Maybe
Oh
don't pull
my
into the
God.
fucking garage.
I mean, literally.
What
Well,
else did I send you?
moving right along to JWC 1995.
First off, let it be known,
Mm-hmm.
the descriptive in this is like the joke that my sister always say, people our parents' age always have to throw in these stupid, like, unnecessary adjectives when telling a story.
Okay.
And it starts with that.
So maybe racism trigger warning
Like,
or
it just makes no sense.
trigger word trigger warning. We'll see. Here we go.
It's not racist, I promise.
These are not our words. Anytime I hear a phrase of the previous generation, I just assume racism or ignorance.
It's the one past that.
Okay. Here we go. My dad spoke to a Chinese woman who lived as a forest survey person up in the mountains for the past 30 or so years. This is in Canada about 5 years ago, as an unofficial sort of person the government asked about when looking for forest fires, any sort of illegal shit, etc. She says that she spotted multiple Sasquatch and that they are quite intelligent and just don't want to interact with people, not even the young ones. But if she's out there, they're pretty chill about it because she grew up around that area and remembers seeing them from a young age. She had a totally straight look on her face, and my dad said she's one of the most rational people he'd seen out there. He owned a strip of gold claim out that way at the time, and she said if he knew what was good, to leave that land alone because digging it up would disturb a lot of shit in the area, and she wasn't sure it was a good idea. My dad wasn't so sure until he swears up and down that he later saw one himself. And she said, I guess she being like the lady, the worker.
The worker.
Okay. So the poster's dad saw one himself, and the worker said, quote, "That's the female one."
That's a lady.
Then just went inside and left him out there to take the fuck off running. Listen, she told him not to go mussing about.
I don't know if he's from Canada or whatnot, but like if I go someplace and they tell me not to dick with something, I'm not dicking with it.
Yeah, especially someone who's been there for years and really knows the area back and forth. Yeah, hell no.
Like, because it could even be like big guns who are going to come and take your gold land and like kill you for it.
Yeah.
Like, you still know better than me.
This reminds me of that one story that we covered where the boy, he said his grandpa told him a story when he was really old about how when he was a boy that there was something that happened where they had like a bunch of ducks or chickens or something get horrifically slaughtered and they shot what they thought was a wolf that attacked it, or like a bobcat or something.
Yeah, they shot.
But once they started tracking it, they realized they shot it and wounded it mortally, but didn't kill it. So they started tracking it, and they track it like deeper and deeper into the woods. And then they realize that what they're tracking is a person. And then they eventually get to a place where the grandfather's father and his uncle tell the little boy and his brother to stay on one side of the river, and they say, "Stay here, do not follow us, and if we do not come back like within an hour, go home and don't come looking for us."
Yep.
And they do come back, and they basically tell them that that was a person, but that it was essentially a feral person, and that they had been taken by their people back to like the caves that they were living in.
No.
And that they basically had this like silent understanding of, you stay on your side of the river, we stay on ours, and do not ever cross that side of the river and they will not cross ours. And his grandpa and uncle never spoke about it again, and that they were visibly terrified.
No. There's something so ancient about, I mean, obviously Earth itself, but like when it comes to like water and land and like somebody tells you like,
well,
don't fuck around with that land.
Yeah, the
like,
whole Appalachian area, the Ozarks, all of that area is just...
I mean, there's certain cultures that are like, when you go into the forest, you say, excuse me to the trees. You do this, you do that. It's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like when I got on an airplane, I give it a little pat saying, good job, you're going to do good today. Like, the way I get ugly, beaten up boxes at the store because I'm like, nobody's going to want to buy it. Like, I got to love this little box of tampons, like, because nobody else will. Like, inanimate objects, you got to give love to, okay? Because you never know, like, what little spirits are going to come for you. Or mountain people. Genevieve, that actually, like, ew. Anytime anything with, like, crawlers, I can't do it. I can't do it. That one spelunking movie, I can't do it.
Oh, The Descent. I never saw it. I've seen a trailer and the cover art, and that was enough. I think I read the Wikipedia plot.
I had so much access to
God, you probably sat there and watched it when you were like 9 years old.
100%. In the basement.
Gosh, Kaitlyn. No.
And like I've frozen in fear just to the couch. I'm like, I can't move. I just gotta finish it.
I'd be paralyzed as an adult now. Hell no. So there's some comments underneath that particular Sasquatch story, and this is a really short one, and this person says, I can't think of the name, but there was a show where a guy said he was hunting, I think, in the Ozarks, and he actually shot a Sasquatch. He didn't realize that's what it was, but he flipped out when it happened because it was so human-like once he got close to it. But then he realized that he messed up even more by not bringing any proof. So he went back to the spot, found some hair and fur, and took it back for analysis, but that they told him they couldn't identify what animal it was from, but it didn't match any known animals or something like that. That had to be on some like Bigfoot search
Girl, I thought you were going to say that makes me want to try and find a Bigfoot. I'm like, you're on your own.
Absolutely, hell not. But what it does make me think of, and I'm going to hold my phone up while I talk about this, so hopefully my algorithm will bring it back up, but there was a reel that came across my feed where there's some little museum somewhere in the US that there is a 300-pound mummified huge person that is a prehistoric person, but that some people think is like a Sasquatch. And it's somewhere in a museum, but I sound like completely crazy, but it's very real. It's not like an AI thing. And I'm gonna look it up now because I need to try to find this.
I was gonna say, is it telling that like I'm an American, you said 300 pounds like big, and I'm like, oh, that's not that big for a person.
Well, the skeleton was, sorry. The skeleton was.
Oh, it's just bones?
It's like a mummified remains that were 300 pounds. Yeah.
That's Medea's ancestors. But like America doesn't have like a Neanderthals or like the...
Yeah.
I can't think of the appropriate terms, so I'm not going to say
I know what you're saying.
But like we don't have like the prehistoric remains of people.
Yeah, not a...
I'm interested to see what that is.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I've seen that.
No, I need to try to find it.
That has to be like in the Appalachians.
Oh, it's got to be somewhere like that.
Well, I'll read this story real quick because it's also giving Sasquatch. Ooh. It's by Norazi J. My grandpa had a hunting buddy in the 70s who was basically a hermit in the woods of the Pacific Northwest. He was staying with him in his cabin deep in the Cascade Mountains during a hunting trip. No running water, no electricity. Miles away from the nearest town or a paved road. His cabin was built on stilts and on an incline. It had a 10-foot balcony from the base of the bottom of the stilts with no stairs or ladder to climb up on. My grandpa claims that he knew this man for a long time and said that he didn't have the personality to lie. I've also known my grandpa to never be one for bullshit. One night during the trip, they were relaxing at the cabin after a hunt, and his buddy tells him that Sasquatch is in the area and to be careful going out at night. Thinking he was pulling his leg, my grandpa chuckled and didn't think much about it. His friend then put on a very serious face and grabbed a few pieces of fruit, bread, and jerky and placed them in a bowl. He then took the bowl out onto the balcony and set it on the edge and said, "It'll be empty in the morning," and then went to bed. It was an open-floor, single-room cabin about 300 square feet. My grandpa had a cot set up near the balcony window and was woken up in the middle of the night by rustling outside. He peeked through the window and saw the bowl empty, and to this day, he still claims he saw 4 fingers resting on the edge of the balcony just before letting go.
What?
He never went hunting in that area again. And then all the comments underneath it are people saying in the Washington area and the Tri-Cities, multiple accounts of their family members believing in Bigfoot.
Wow. That's so fascinating.
And then somebody did say, on a less serious note, I guess your story proves that Sasquatch really does like jerky.
I mean, jerky's good stuff. Nice and salty. There's just too much. There's too much lore around it for there to not be something. If that makes sense to me. Like, it can't just be that there's nothing and everybody's crazy.
I want to say it was under the one you just read. In the comments, somebody had mentioned in that area of Canada that the natives in there, they have lores of Sasquatch and they have totems of Sasquatch and like they believe and they pass down stories and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like,
I fully believe that. Yeah. There's something.
Look, and I know everybody's like, oh, well, we haven't gotten pictures or videos of it. How many true crime cases have we heard and seen where they were in public, they were at a bar, they were in the city, they were here, and the camera wasn't working? Or fucking hell, the camera works and it looks like it was taken by a Nokia in like 1999.
1,000%. There's also things we have no idea of in the vastness of space, in the vastness of the ocean. There are new species being discovered every day in the rainforest.
Would rather be shot out into space than shot down to the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's a no for me.
Blow me out into space. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to asphyxiate myself or break my neck out in space on purpose, but do not send me under. Jen, you've told me too many creepy water stories.
One day, there's going to be not just a fun, frothy Reddit, but there's going to be a real, honest to God, this is why mermaids are real episode.
And not like the Ariel mermaids.
No. Mermaids, that's the thing, is that when you say that mermaids are real, people immediately assume you're talking about like the top half a beautiful woman, the bottom half a fishtail,
or like not even beautiful, just like morally human.
Yeah,
where like they're on the same plane of us.
Human, exactly, like, or biologically even. But no, there are absolutely predatory creatures out there that have a bizarre skeletal structure that mimics something that looks human-like and fish-like, and they can, like how bobcats can make sounds that sound like a woman screaming, or like that, like help me, or just the way that birds imitate people. Yeah. These things exist. I swear to God, they exist. And there's just as much lore about them and sightings, even more so of Sasquatch, and people who are like dead ass serious that, oh, they exist. Like, why are you even pretending like they don't? I've seen them. I don't know why I find it so fascinating to me. I think it's just because people are so quick to be like, absolutely not, you're crazy. But
there's so much land and water that has not been explored.
Yeah, I think that's why I find it so believable, is that we really know little to nothing about the deep ocean. And
I don't want to. I really, 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 really don't want to. Ew. I definitely have a fear of, like, the ocean.
Yeah. So do I, but I also love to do...
No, even you crackhead, you go out far in the ocean. I'm like, I will get my toes, and even then something could get me.
Well, I shouldn't say I have a fear of the ocean. I have a fear of being, like the dark open water. Dark open
that's a good
water.
way.
But
like
the beach
open ocean
and surfing and things like that, I don't have a fear of, because I grew up around that. But yeah, unknown, dark, deep water, hell no. Hail to the no. Ugh. Let's stop talking about it, because I feel like I could sink or something.
Give us another one.
Okay, here we go. This, oh my God, what a name. Minge Saints. Thank you for that. Shared this nice juicy story from 8 years ago. Once again, not a ranger. That's what the title of this is going to have to be.
I know, I'm sorry.
Not a ranger.
Sorry.
But no, these have all been great.
We're just not a ranger episode.
Not a ranger, but an avid mountain climber here in the Philippines. One time, my group went on a night hike to a mountain located in central Luzon. Naturally, we took the easier trail, North Peak, since we were hiking with some newbies. See, that's what you do. Smart.
Mm-hmm.
At around 4 a.m., we broke camp and started our descent. Almost 1 hour in, we noticed that we kept passing the same fallen tree and the same boulder. The trail was very straightforward, and many of us have climbed the mountain before, but for some reason, all of us were going round in circles. One of the more superstitious hikers decided to make us all stand in a circle, utter a prayer, and leave an offering of food. Only then were we able to complete our descent.
Fairies. Fairies.
Mermaids. I have lots more stories of creepy stuff in the mountains, so feel free to ask away.
And then, they add like 5 more stories at the bottom.
Awesome. I say let's just go for him. You want to read the next one? He says, Since I saw quite a lot of people requesting for more stories, here it goes.
This was around 2015 when I went on a day hike at Mount GB, somewhere in the southern part of Luzon area. The week prior to my hike, I was in the same area with a friend. Being that the trail is relatively straightforward, we decided not to hire a guide. Fast forward to the present. I decided, so that was 2015.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that is now, like, when he's writing. Present means when he's writing.
Gotcha.
I decided to do a nighttime trek with 5 of my colleagues in tow. Who just goes on, like, what? Different country. Maybe different living.
Yeah.
It's a no for me.
Pass.
Since I was the one who knew the trail, I was the group leader. About an hour or so, we heard something that went pss, 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 pss.
Nope.
As we were on the hiking trail, it's reverse cat. A jaguar is like pss, 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 pss.
You want Snickers?
Come here. Oh, that would get my fat ass going. Oh.
Miss Vicky salt and vinegar potato chips would do it for me.
But really. We looked around, thinking it might be one of the locals. Some part of the trail led to small houses. Anyway, it soon stopped, so we forgot all about it. We soon reached a narrow part of the trail, bordered by shallow cliffs on either side. Since I was the lead, I was very focused on the trail, and I didn't notice that my colleagues were lagging behind until one of them said, "Hey, why don't you shine your flashlight right in front of you?" I stopped walking and waited for them to catch up. When we reached the campsite, I asked my colleague why he told me to shine the flashlight right in front of myself. "Well," he whispered, "you were walking so fast I didn't think you saw the child standing right in front of you."
No. And that is why you do not night hike.
Also, how are you night hiking without having the flashlight shining in front of you?
Ugh.
No, I'm so sorry. Like, in terms of creepiness, I would rather run in with meth cookers. No, it would go Bigfoot, meth cookers, and then a ghost child.
1,000%.
Like, ew, 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 ew. Ew.
No.
Also, like, the Philippines has really creepy lore. Like, if you look into their paranormal stuff, it's...
Oh, God. I bet there's some good mermaid stories there. He also says, me and my 2 other friends were walking on our way home from the summit of a Mount B, also in southern Luzon, when a kid, oh God, again with the creepy kids, came up to us asking if he can guide us for 5 pesos only. He was dressed with a blue checkered shirt and white pants. He was very well groomed, his clothes were wrinkle-free, and his hair wasn't even messy at all. We knew the trail by heart, so we kept on declining his offer. Eventually, we agreed since we figured he would follow us anyway. When we started to walk again, he suddenly stopped following us. I called out to him, but he didn't mind me. He just stood still. I looked at my companions, and they were very scared. So I said, okay, stay there if you want, but you won't get your 5 pesos, and left. Now I told this story to fellow mountaineers, and they told me the kid was probably a child of one of the guides.
Still creepy.
Huh.
I guess maybe the kid was trying to swindle them.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Regardless, I'm like, get your fucking eyes off me.
Yeah.
Stop staring at me.
Okay, that's not quite as creepy as I thought it was. I thought it was going to be like, we turned around and he was gone.
No, he was just staring.
Yeah, that sounds more like...
I think that would make sense.
Yeah.
The next one is, this is a very popular urban legend surrounding a certain Mount C, also called Devil's Mountain. The famous legend narrates the story of a couple who went on a hike in Mount C at midnight. They got lost when they accidentally took an unusual trail on their way to the campsite. Even if the weather is threatening because of a storm and there was zero visibility, they still continued their hike. They arrived in a point where the trail forked, and they turned left when they should have turned right. The left was a deadly trail, thus they never made it to campsite. According to local folks, the 2 were not found until now.
Okay. This story is connected to the previous one, also taking place in Mount C. A group of hikers, together with a guide, went on a rarely used trail. On the way, they passed by a small village where the elders advised them to continue the trek, but leave the only girl in the group at the village.
No, thank you.
They politely declined and continued hiking. Halfway through, the guide told them that he could only go as far as the first half. Being experienced hikers, they paid the guide and continued until they came to a fork in the road. As they were debating which road to take, a couple stumbled upon them and told them to take the left side. They continued following the couple even as it got dark and started to rain. Suddenly, their flashlights turned off simultaneously, but they still tried to follow the couple. When the rain stopped and their flashlights came back on, the couple was gone, and one of the group members slipped and almost fell from a ravine. Oh my.
So it doesn't say if, like, then they found the bodies, but, like, I feel like that...
that was implying that was the ghosts of the 2 hikers.
Yeah, and then they potentially found the bodies because they went on the left trail.
Oh.
And they almost fell in the ravine, where I assume the couple fell in the ravine.
Oh my goodness. That is so creepy. What business do people have going on midnight hikes? I don't understand. The only way that I could somehow justify it in my mind is that if you're somewhere where it's so unbearably hot during the day that it cools down enough that you could hike at night, but at night is when the predators come out. What you doing? No. Is there anything that important you need to see that you can't see during the day? Get one of those ice towels that goes around your neck and
but like
you
can't see where you truly can't see where you're going. You can't see any like predator.
Yeah. And of all places where there's like village elders telling you not to do things.
I'm going to listen to the old man, okay?
Yeah. Good God.
I screenshotted this one that I wanted to end on
Oh, okay.
because it's my dream.
I'm really glad you didn't end on the dog one because I
No.
would have cried.
I knew that had to be an earlier one.
Thank you.
So this one is by Deleted. I've got a deep woods story that's been shared in my family for quite a few years. Okay. My great uncle was a deep woods kind of guy. In a practice I find a little weird, he would rarely use a tent, just set up a sleeping bag right on the ground. Since we're from Maine, there aren't too many large predators that really mess with people. There are black bears, but they usually hide from people, so I guess he just didn't feel worried. So he's out sleeping in the woods when he feels tiny hands patting his face.
Oh no.
Wakes up, opens his eyes to see a raccoon standing over him, just feeling his face. So what does my great uncle do? He just goes back to sleep.
Oh,
I'm so fucking sorry. I woke up to a raccoon giving me little...
You do it back to the raccoon.
I would. I would be like, hello, baby.
Oh,
and it would bite
God.
me and I would have rabies and have to get shot in my ass. But you know what? It'd be worth it.
I think of you every time I come across, there's a video or an account where this couple has a morbidly obese raccoon. And this raccoon, it likes to be like zoomed across the floor.
Oh, like, I think I've seen those videos.
Like he likes to be like spun around and then zoomed across the floor. And he like encourages them to do it. It's the funniest thing ever. He just is a giant potato with legs. Actually, he needs to be on a diet. I'm worried that they're
really
overfeeding
does,
him. But if he is not the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I've heard, though, that raccoons are one animal that truly cannot be domesticated because they are too smart.
I believe it.
They're too intelligent and too, selfish in a way. Like, they do things for themselves.
Yeah. They're scavengers.
Granted, they're wild animals.
And they're problem solvers.
But dogs are wild animals at one point. Cats are wild animals. My kids are wild animals, and I let them sleep inside.
That they are. Oh, Kaitlyn, did you ever have to read the book Rascal for school?
That's not coming to mind, but that doesn't mean I didn't. We read a lot of books in Rascal book.
It is a book by Sterling North, animal best friend, childhood books. The animal always dies. I don't think that he does in this book, because I remember I would have been super mad about it.
Does the raccoon die? Does the dog die?
No, he does not.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Once Rascal becomes a mature adult raccoon, then the little boy ends up releasing him into the wild, and he watches him join the other wild raccoons because he
you won't believe the shit I just came from.
And it's based on Rascal is the true story based on author Sterling North's own experiences when he was 11 years old growing up it would have been in the 1930s or 40s. And from what I remember in this book, the little boy, he ends up finding the raccoon when he's a baby. Aww. The boy, his mother has just died, and his dad is a lawyer who's gone all the time. And so they become very bonded together, and he takes him all over town doing stuff. And there's one point in the book where the dad leaves him for a super long time, and so he has this raccoon, and oh. Now I'm just reminiscing, but
God, I want a fucking raccoon so bad.
I know. One day.
I just sometimes I really do hold George Cooney and pet him. I really do just hold him and pet him.
I do that sometimes with my deer head. My deer head. I'll just pet it.
Okay, guys.
On that note, we hope you guys enjoyed this not search and rescue, not park
not a park ranger,
but I think it was very entertaining. I really enjoyed reading through those stories, and it gives me a nice little extra chunk of time to finish up the mainline murder script.
But yeah, one more episode of that, and then Rose Petal?
Yes.
Part 3.
Rose Petal. We gotta finish Rose Petal. For sure. All right, guys. Well, with that,
the world is a very shitty and scary place. So remember to always have courage and stay kind.
Of a bitch.
Bye.
Bye.